Anyway, thanks for taking the time to hang out with us today.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for having me. Really appreciate this opportunity.
Yeah, man. Let's get started at the very beginning with your first ever alcoholic beverage.
Oh, my first ever alcoholic beverage?
Oh, yeah. I want to hear the story.
Oh my God. Well, how embarrassing do I want to get with myself?
Literally as embarrassing as physically possible. Let's go.
All right. Well, it all started in 1894, I want to say, when my dad took me to a ping pong tournament in Iowa City. And on the way back, my foreign exchange student that was living with me, he drank a lot, and my dad thought he'd be cool and get us a 12-pack of Red Dog. And
I have so many questions already.
Proceeded to have me drink some after a ping pong tournament, drink 3 Red Dogs in the back seat of a Ford Probe. And boy, did I rap some Snoop Dogg way too loud. He wouldn't give me beer ever again.
Oh, so you rapped Snoop Dogg. Would you like to relive that memory for us, maybe?
Lottie Dottie, we likes to potty. We don't cause trouble. We don't bother nobody. We're just some homies who's on the mic. Rock up on the mic. We rock the mic. Why? I think
that was absolutely amazing.
I'll just stick to making beer.
I don't want you to. I want you to make beer and also rap all the time. And I don't even know what, like a ping pong tournament. So first of all, why?
It was just something I grew up in ping pong culture. I didn't ask for it. It was just kind of, I was born into it.
What is ping pong culture?
Like people that play a lot of ping pong.
That's it. That's as far as the culture goes. There's nothing outside of it.
Yeah, it's a couple old dudes. Like my dad and his friends carted me around with them, and I picked it up. I got pretty good at it actually, and played in a few big nationwide tournaments. But that was a long time ago.
Oh my God, ping pong, Snoop Dogg, foreign exchange students, and cool dads. That is an epic first drink story.
Thank you. My dad is pretty cool.
That's awesome. So how do you go from that to opening Arrowhead? Tell me about all the origin story of Arrowhead Ales.
Oh, I was a teacher for 11 years. I taught special ed, and gosh, I really enjoyed it. And but unfortunately, the district I work for just kind of losing some money, and they were eliminating my position altogether. And I found home brewing as a great hobby. And I consider myself as kind of a big nerd that likes to, when I get a new hobby, I go down the rabbit hole pretty deep. And it gave me a chance to kind of nerd out on the science behind brewing and the chemistry and the microbiology behind it. And then at the end of it, you get to drink it and get drunk. So
it's like a built-in coping mechanism.
Right. It's a perfect thing for me. So I'm losing my job. Screw it. Let's just open a brewery. So I found some good people to come on board with me, and it was a long shot, but it took about 4 years from 2012 to 2016. But everything kind of started lining up, and it just happened. And it's been a long, strange trip, but it's been a lot of fun, and I've learned a lot about myself and other people. And I have a new passion in my life that I'm really blessed and lucky. I'm able to do what I get to do.
That's
with the
amazing.
people I do it with too.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned people, because I heard through the grapevine that you have a very interesting story to tell me about a specific customer and his affinity for light bulbs.
Oh my gosh, we had, I think it was February, right before the pandemic started, a little over a year ago. There was a guy that came from an hour or so away. He came in with his girlfriend, and he got really drunk and decided that our light bulbs that we have hanging above the bar, these huge teardrop shaped light bulbs, they look really slick. And after one night, the bartender wasn't paying attention, and he stood up on a chair, looked at the people around him and said, "I'm going to take this light bulb." So he unscrewed this huge light bulb, and he stuck it in his coat and ran out the door. So I took the video and I put it on our Facebook page, and I found the guy's credit card information. It's put his name up there and kind of called him out for, being the light bulb thief of New Lenox. And it was just kind of humorous how that post exploded a little bit, and it made its way to a website called Worst Beer Blog, where they're typically making fun of breweries that do some dumb shit. But this was actually a patron that got caught doing some dumb shit, and we decided to put the video up there and put him on blast just to call him out. And we didn't like file charges or anything, but it was just kind of funny watching the video of this guy get up on a stool to unscrew a light bulb and run out the door.
That is amazing. Did anything come of it? Did he like bring the light bulb back? Did he pay you back for the light? No,
no, we never saw him again. We never saw him again. And I just went to Lowe's and bought another one, and we just moved on with our lives.
I just want to say though, that as a woman, that story almost gives me hope. Like, man, there are men that really do appreciate aesthetic to the point where they are willing to break the law just to have a little piece of it. That's amazing. So take me through sort of your, I guess, philosophy on beer making, because I'm fortunate enough to have actually been able to try your delicious beverages, specifically that blueberry cobbler one, which blew my friggin' mind. It's delicious. Oh, wow. So tell me what your kind of philosophy is. What do you want to bring into the product and be able to bring to your customers?
Well, when I started brewing a long time ago, there was an up and coming brewery that started along maybe in about 2010 or so, Pipeworks Brewing. They're in Chicago, and when I saw how these guys built this crazy brewery from nothing, basically, they were taking some traditional styles of beer and just pushing the limits of those with some different additives and just a fun twist on normal beers. And I hadn't seen anything like that in my life, so I wanted to give it a shot. So that's where my brewing kind of started, was making big, strong beers with coconut, with vanilla, with coffee, with honey, different things. So our big thing now is just kind of brewing traditional styles. We have very traditional styles that are clean and simple in the way they should be. Lots of lagers, lots of pale ales, IPAs, stouts, but we also play around with the sours and pastry stouts and a little bit of the seltzer game too recently. So we're just trying to make it fun and interesting and give people something new to try every time they're in, and just seeing what we can kind of get away with and have fun while we're doing it, so it doesn't get boring.
What would you say your sort of strategy would be on getting customers that are maybe used to drinking the Miller Lights, the Bud Lights, the Coors Lights, and having them become adventurous with their palate and want to branch out into something that maybe they wouldn't try, the fruity sounding beer type thing?
That's where our bartenders come in, and that's where they are really good at noticing when that opportunity is there. A patron will come in and sit at our bar and look at our beer board with all the different options, and they'll mull over it for 5-10 minutes, and then they'll say, you know what, let me get a Coors Light. Well, that's where we have to step in and say, well, hey, what kind of other beers do you like? Well, we have something similar to almost any kind of style, so we'll have them try something simple and then work their way up. And we've converted a lot of people in our town to understand and appreciate craft beer for being similar, but a little bit better in some ways, and especially just to support local.
Yeah.
And
as the temperature is warming up, of course, we're getting excited for summer to come and get out there and start the drinking, and specifically starting to drink slushies, which I hear is now a thing that you guys are offering at Arrowhead.
Yeah, we bought a slushie machine, and I've seen several places around that are doing some pretty cool things with slushies. So one of our series of beers that we make is our sour beers. We have a series called Barricade, which is each beer is typically a play on some kind of a dessert, whether it be like lemon meringue pie or the blueberry cobbler or peach cobbler. We've done a lot of different versions of that. Those beers typically make really good slushies. Also, our Vagrant series is another sour series, but it's just a clean sour beer with a single fruit addition. So you take the beer, you back sweeten it a little bit, throw it in the slushie machine, and you have a glass of deliciousness ready for a hot summer day.
Yes, and you'll get drunk from it.
Get a brain freeze.
But if you have the alcohol, it'll cancel out the brain freeze until the next day. So that's a problem for future us.
Yeah, right. Future problems don't count.
Yeah, I don't have to deal with that now. That's not real. Now, you also, this one concerns me a little bit, because there's a claim to somewhat fame here that you have the best old fashioned, arguably, in the state of Illinois.
We do now. we've been striving for our bar to be at its best level as it can be, and especially in the last several months alone, we've made tremendous strides overall in improving everything that we do. But one of the biggest things is our old fashioned. I am a huge old fashioned fan, and the way that we do our ice program now with the big fat clear ice cubes and our selection of whiskeys and bourbons, it just keeps multiplying every day. I've given this one particular individual kind of free reign to turn the bar into what it should be. And
Hear that guy's hot too. It's crazy.
oh, he's so dreamy.
So dreamy.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Our listeners might not know my husband works at Arrowhead
That's
Ales.
true.
So
Just when he flicks his hair over, it's just adorable.
oh yeah, you have to swoon. You have no choice.
But yeah, you won't find a better old fashioned within 20-mile radius of Arrowhead Ales. It might be just as good, but it won't get any better than the one that we have.
That's a bold claim.
Yeah, and it is on draft.
Oh.
Yeah, we filled an entire keg full of old fashions, and now it is on draft. So you can get an old fashioned on tap at Arrowhead Ales.
Between the now draft old fashioned and your slushy machine, God, like I know that there are laws that would not allow this, but God, do I want a 7-Eleven bring your own cup to Arrowhead Ales kind of day where you can just fill it up and have at it, but that would also not end well, or it would end fantastically, just
Big
expensively.
Big gulps, huh, guys? All right.
Get one of those like little straws that has the like shovel at the end of it, so you can make sure you're getting all that slushy in there.
Oh, we might just have a box of those coming. I don't know.
Crazy straws. Crazy straws.
we call the slushies our slush fund program.
That's amazing.
And we actually have custom glassware coming and custom t-shirts coming just to wrap the branding all together and make this just like one of the coolest, funnest things we can do all summer. So
that's amazing. I love to like lean into something big like that. You know what I mean? Like it's not just a drink. This is a goddamn slushy. So we will get shirts. We will get silly straws and we will get drunk.
We're going to dominate Slushy Nation.
Slushy Nation. 1000%. But on a more serious note, you guys have won some awards recently. You got a Best Burger Award, Best Graphic Design Award. Can you tell me a bit about that?
Yeah. The Patch is a kind of an online news site. And they did a poll in all the towns surrounding, and New Lenox, they had a bunch of people vote, and out of the restaurants in town, they voted for our burger to be the best burger in town, which is great. We take a lot of pride in our all of our food, but our burgers are hands down our biggest sellers. Our burger blend it's a higher grade of meat. It's a truck, brisket, and short rib burger. And every week we do a different burger of the week with some really interesting creative toppings, different themed burgers. And they've been going over really, really well. And we try and get a cool photo of the burger, put it up early in the week on our social media, and show people that, hey, you want another crazy burger? Come on in and get it. And the town voted, and we're holding the title for best burger in New Lenox. And also, I want to give a shout out to our graphic designer, Matt Sharp. He's the one that really ties our branding all together and keeps everything consistent and makes us look bigger than we are. But he took it upon himself. He's done a lot of labels for a lot of different companies. We're lucky enough to have him kind of work full time for us, but he works with barbecue sauce companies, dry rub companies, pomade companies, mead places. And he submitted our series of labels. It's called the Villain series. We have Count Chocula on one of our beers called Chocolate Coffin Creeper. We had the Joker on a milkshake IPA called Negative Thoughts. We have Pennywise on a beer called This Town is Cursed. And his illustrations are absolutely sick. And he submitted all these labels as the Villain series, and he won Best in Show. It's called a Gold Crushy, and it's like a global graphic design illustration and branding award. And it was just fantastic for not only us to get the recognition, but for him to get recognized for his work individually. I'm really proud of him and just thankful for everything that he does for us.
Yeah, and those designs are very cool and eye-catching. And I do love, you mentioned that you put a picture of that burger on your Instagram, which I think is very important because I'm definitely one of those people that when I go to a restaurant, I'm not ordering the burger. Like if I'm going to get a burger, I'm going to go to a specific burger restaurant or I'm going to go to McDonald's, and there's like no in between. But when you see that thing, oh, if you haven't checked out Arrowhead Ales' Instagram, it is worth it just to look at those burgers. I dream about those burgers.
I take those burger pictures. I'm really trying to hone in my burger photography skills. I think I've come a long way.
You're really nailing it. I gotta say, you've at least gotten to the meat of the problem.
I see what you did there.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thanks. It wasn't my best work, but it wasn't terrible. All right. Is there anything else that you want to get out into the ether and let the people know?
I do have a kind of a funny little story about one of our other employees. We have a bartender named Mindy. She's there in the daytime. She's fantastic. And I just found out recently that her boyfriend is in a band called Psycho Stick.
Oh.
Have you heard of this band called Psycho Stick?
No.
Well, back when Arrowhead Ales made its first ever Facebook page post in 2011, it was just a home brewery in my garage. There was this song called Beer is Good, and it's by a band called Psycho Stick, and
That's
the lyrics are beer is good, beer is good, beer is good, and stuff. Well, that was the first sentence I put on our Facebook page because I thought that song was just kind of hilarious. I started making beer. I played it all the time in my garage. And we hired Mindy not that long ago, and turns out her boyfriend is in that band. And I feel like the whole thing came full circle. Like it's all come together.
But see, that always alarms me. Now it's like, okay, this is too perfect. And now I die now? What happens next? Now it all crashes and burns, but no, you guys are only going to soar from here. I can tell.
So. I feel like we've come a long way. Our service is good, our food is good, the beer is good, the drinks are great, and we've really made a splash in town, and we have great support from our community. If anybody's in our area, I would love to have you come in and check it out and just see the cool things that we're working on, that we're trying to offer our community. We try to give back to the community as much as we can. We hire local kids to do a lot of the work for us, and I just feel really lucky to be able to do what I do and be surrounded by the people that I'm around.